All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome aboard our solo Amazon brief. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Big week ahead here. We're going to do a solo Amazon brief this morning, open up the doors to our solo Amazon service. We're going to cover a long-term bullish trade this morning, dig deep in Amazon tomorrow. I'll knock out my standard primary brief, and then I'm jumping on a plane and heading out to Colorado. So heading out to Colorado to help my boy Jack move into Boulder, CU, University of Colorado. And then I got a couple donors that I'm flying Friday in the No Fallen Heroes Foundation jet out of Rifle. So going to fly into Aspen, grab a rental car, drive down to Boulder, drive back, fly some donors and come home. So flight schedule for the week for us should be the same. I love going out to Colorado because it's 2 hours behind, so I can knock out our live trade briefs at 8 and then be done by 9:30. Make a little bit of money and get airborne. Okay, so admin items for the week, nothing other than that. Should be transparent to you all, but I'll have a different background behind me out in Colorado. All right, welcome. Folks, no distractions. If you decided to be here, focus on being here. So silence that electronic nicotine. Why? Because you got to focus. You never have heard what I'm about to tell you this morning. Now, I invited many of you to join me in a normal solo Amazon brief right now with my regular members. So you're going to get a taste of exactly how a live trade brief flows and goes. Okay, so like I said, attention to brief. When you sit up straight in a fighter squadron brief, ain't no distractions, ain't no anything. You're paying attention to it. Okay, you've never heard this. I guarantee you, you've actually been told the exact opposite of what you're of what you've heard since day one of investing. I know that because some Instagram folks reached out on Instagram like, I thought you have to diversify, and this sounds like a really stupid concept. Welcome to all those people that wrote me on Instagram. I call this brief Trading the Death Star. Now, if you're my age, you maybe were a kid when Star Wars came out, or you got kids right now that are Star Wars nerds. The Death Star, big moon-sized space station that was taking over the universe, kind of destroyed everything in its way, got blown up once, twice, and then kind of rebuilt. So this stock is the Death Star. It's taking over everything that it touches, and it gets attacked randomly and comes back bigger. Okay. So real quick, though, we're going to start any brief here at TOPGUN Options with a little bit of a fighter pilot mentality. So I'm going to give you multiple choice. Which fighter aircraft would you rather fly? And the reason I ask you this, it has nothing to do with trading, Wiz. It absolutely has everything to do with trading. Trading is a form of combat. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to get their ass handed to them. Which one do you want to be? Okay, so trading is a form of combat. So which fighter aircraft would you rather fly in combat? And you don't have to know anything about fighter aviation. Take a look at that picture right there, folks. This is the cockpit of an F4 Phantom. Okay, F4 Phantom. Richard, thank you for your service, Semper Fi. Over 300 switches and dials in this cockpit. Did you hear me? Over 300 switches and dials in this cockpit. The pilots of this aircraft would spend a lot of what we call heads down time looking at all this stuff instead of eyeballs out of the cockpit, looking for enemy aircraft, MiGs, surface-to-air missiles, SAMs, or AAA, anti-aircraft artillery. This aircraft was so labor-intensive, they actually threw a dude in the back seat to run the radar. That's how complicated this jet is. Big monster airplane, F4 Phantom. Okay, that's your first choice. Or would you rather fly this? 2 flat panel displays, 2 iPads. Anybody see any steam gauges like the F4? Any round steam gauge dials? Nothing. We call this jet the Wonder Woman jet. It's invisible to radar. This jet is so smart, it actually limits the amount of information displayed to the pilot at any given time. And if you really want to be creeped out, the F-35 is learning. It learns that a pilot looked at this portion of the flight. Learn that, and the pilots are going to be gone someday. Look at the aircraft itself. Smooth, no jagged edges or anything like that. So Obviously, folks, going into combat, you would rather fly the F-35. Many of you new to Top Gun Options joining me in this brief today. I saw like hundreds of new leads coming in to attend this brief. I guarantee you, you're flying around in an F-4 Phantom. Ditch it. I promised you by the end of this brief, you're going to have an up-to-date intelligence brief with what's going on around the globe, around the United States, and tactically with Amazon. The only stock you need to own. And if that doesn't sit right with you, Wiz, I got bitten in the neck by a broker, by somebody earlier in my investing career. I'm going to show you a good substitute to trade. Okay. How's the smart money doing real quick? Before I even introduce myself, how's this guy doing? Well, let me show you how the smart money's doing. Look at the past, 5 years of hedge funds, right? If you go to a cocktail party and people are like, oh, I'm in a hedge fund, and you think that person's smart, usually they're an idiot. Nobody cares more about your money than you. If you pay somebody else to manage your money, you're an idiot, in my opinion. Why? Here's the average hedge fund for the past 5 years. 10% return, 11% return, 10% return, -8. Last year they did 9. Are you? I'd be mortified if that's my performance for a year. I try and do that in a day. Here's a here's a brokerage. Here's my individual brokerage account, 84.65 last year, 151% return. Folks, you could have bought the Dow Jones index last year and done the same as a hedge fund for free, right? The S&P 500, 20% return last year. The NASDAQ, about 38%. I beat, you could add all of those returns up, and I destroyed them last year. So, folks, there is no such thing as the smart money. You are the smart money, I guarantee you. Okay, so that's why you should sit up straight and listen to me. Who am I? If you don't know, this will be quick. Matthew Buckley, my call sign is Wiz. I'm the founder and the CEO here at Top Gun Options. Military background, I flew the F-18 Hornet for the United States Navy for about 15 years, close to 16 years. Graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School adversary program. That's the bad guy program, right? You need bad guys to train against our good guys. And I was deployed for Operation Southern Watch, did some really boring combat sorties over southern Iraq, and then mobilized for Operations Noble Eagle and Enduring Freedom. What's this have to do with trading? Everything. I already told you, trading's a form of combat, folks. Somebody's going to lose, somebody's going to get their ass kicked. So why wouldn't you use the same tools, techniques, risk management, contingency planning that I used over the skies of Iraq and Top Gun on Wall Street? Having a strategy, implementing tactics, contingency planning. Ladies and gentlemen, the time to decide what you're going to do if you get shot at by a missile over enemy territory is not when you get shot at by a missile over enemy territory. You sit in the air conditioning, sipping on your venti upside down caramel macchiato, going, you know what? This is what I'm going to do if this happens, and plan on it happening. I transferred all this stuff to my trading with incredible results. I didn't sit on the aircraft carrier, talking about sports. I mean, I did do that, but I was always interested in investing. So eventually I popped up on the radar of one of the largest volatility arbitrage firms headquartered right there in the Chicago Board of Trade. That was my trading firm. That's the floor. There's the big windows right there. Helped build a hedge fund when I was there. I helped, and that hedge fund had disgusting returns. Not your average hedge fund. I helped build the retail brokerage. Some of you may have traded at a long time ago, called Options House, and just essentially had a blast. I was a managing director of strategy. I started a media company that was essentially the CNBC for options. I'd shoot on the floor of the CBOE, Chicago Board Options Exchange, and the CBOT, Chicago Board of Trade, and we were essentially, even though John and Pete got let go from CNBC, they pay lip service to options on CNBC, folks, right? It's an afterthought. Not me. I did it 24/7. But, I jokingly tell people I felt like Valentine in Trading Places, right? Little old retail trader off the street going up to hang out with the smart money. And like I just told you, the smart money actually ain't that smart. Why? I wrote a book about it. COVID crash. Made about $2.5 million in 3 weeks. Why? Because the smart money, as the market started to implode because of COVID, what were they doing on CNBC? Oh, this is a bottom here. Oh, this is a buying opportunity. This is, oh, stocks look great here. Donald Trump, famous tweet. I'd be a buyer of stocks here. You're an idiot if you don't buy stocks today. Buy them. The next day, the Dow went down 3,000 points. I made $75,000. Thank you, Mr. President. I remember Kyle Bass, Bill Ackman, all these other smart money guys on CNBC crying. We need to shut down the markets and just shut the markets. No, 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 no. I'm on the other side of your trades, you morons. You don't shut down markets, buddy. And we destroyed the smart money. If you were here, I'll show you the case studies. We made little old ladies in tennis shoes into multimillionaires, and it was like shooting fish in a barrel. So I've written a couple books. That's my first book, From Sea Level to Sea Level, essentially going from the cockpit to the trading pit, and then obviously COVID crash, from panic to profit. That was awesome. Loved it. And we executed what I call outsider trading. I had a deep throat in the White House, and he's like, dude, this thing escaped from a level 4 lab in Wuhan, China, and it's coming here, and we're freaking out. What did senators and congressmen do when they left a classified briefing and went to a microphone? Everything's fine. Everything's great. No, it's not coming here, and if it does, we're prepared. Then they picked up their cell phone and called their brokers and their family and their friends and said, what? Get out. 4 of them were investigated, and the government decided not to charge them with like insider trading. I did outsider trading. I was doing live trade briefs. I was doing videos. I'm like, listen to me. I was right. Lost a couple YouTube accounts, lost some social media accounts, some Facebook accounts for telling the truth. Love it. Also have a podcast called the Max Afterburner Podcast. It's ranked in the top 2.5% of podcasts in the world. That's pretty freaking cool, man. I had to actually, when the studio told me that, I had to go Google how many podcasts there are. 3.4 million podcasts. So the fact that we're in the top 2.5% of podcasts on the globe, I'm pretty happy with. Let me give you the link real quick. If you don't know who I am and never heard about this, this is my other passion aside from helping people learn how to trade and take control of their own financial future. I run a foundation called the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. A couple years ago, not a couple, 3 years. 3 years ago, I went to Mexico with Marcus Luttrell, the lone survivor, Jared Taylor, JT, one of the founders of Black Rifle Coffee, JJ, who's a TGO member, and Robert Gallery, an NFL player with some pretty bad CTE. I sat with psychedelic assisted therapy, and it saved and changed my life. I came home and different human being. I started the No Fallen Heroes Foundation to put the ladder down to save and change the lives of veterans, first responders, and their families. There are some incredible podcasts. You can also listen to it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So go check this out. This one, a couple weeks ago, this lady began being sexually abused by her uncles at the age of 3. She said she received 37 years of healing in 8 hours. This one is a must listen to. Everybody has some sort of trauma. Everybody deserves to heal. The No Fallen Heroes Foundation provides healing grants for veterans, first responders, and their families to heal. She was she's the spouse of an army guy. Okay, so those are my other passions. Why am I briefing you on this? Because you should never show up to one of these briefs and the dude or the lady's just like, hey, look at some trades and this, and I have no idea who they am. The fool and their money are soon parted. Clearly, that's an older picture of me and my family. That's one of my favorite pictures because that's when we left Chicago and we did this on our own. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can do this by myself, and never looked back. Okay, that's enough about, how do you know when a date with a fighter pilot is half over with? It's that point on the date when he looks lovingly at you and says, you know what, I'm tired of talking about me. Why don't you talk about me? All right, here we go. So I'm gonna brief you on something that it's either gonna shock you or it's not gonna shock you, or maybe it's gonna be both. You ready? So since day one of investing, you have been lied to. Now half the room just went, duh. And the other half maybe said, well, duh, but what are they lying to you about? How many of you have heard this on day one of investing? You cannot. You can't. How dare you even think about putting all of your eggs in one basket? You're an awful human. You must diversify. Diversification is important. The 5 tips to diversify, they froth at the mouth. You need it. You want me on that wall. You need me to diversify. It's an absolute lie. Who's lying to me, Wiz? This guy. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever, whenever you hear the word broker, delete the word broker and insert the word commission. Real estate broker, stock broker, yacht broker, aircraft broker, any sort of broker, ladies and gentlemen, say it with me, makes money off of a commission. The more names, stocks, ETFs that you are in and out of, the more money they make. It's an industry practice, ladies and gentlemen, called churn. Did you not see The Wolf of Wall Street or Boiler Room or even the movie Wall Street, right? Bud Fox, Charlie Sheen. All right, boys, open up the phone books. Get the little old ladies in tennis shoes out of the stock we got them in yesterday. Get them into this one. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It's called churn. They want you in and out of as many names as humanly possible. Now, if you're sitting here going, Wiz, Mr. Smart Guy, you're not that smart. Yo soy me, trade with a discount broker. Matter of fact, my broker doesn't charge a commission. Let me give you a little life lesson. If you're not paying something, you're not the customer. You're the product. If you are at Robinhood, ladies and gentlemen, Ken Griffin at Citadel, who moved from Chicago to bring his headquarters down to Brickell, or Stevie Cohen, Axe from Billions on Showtime. They are the customers. Payment for order flow. They get to see all your trades and all your flow. And what do they do with it, folks? They print money and pay Robinhood. You ever play poker? Anybody who sits at a poker table and go, hey, I wonder who the idiot is. It's you. If you're not paying a commission, you are not the customer. Does everybody understand this? So they're lying to you that you have to be diversified. I'm a fighter pilot. I speak in clear, concise terms. I don't have time not to. Diversification is for stupid people. Well, I take offense to that, Wiz. Okay, you want a friend? Get a dog. Let me have an old guy say it a little nicer than I just said it. Diversification is a protection against ignorance. It makes very little sense for those who know what they're doing. He just said what I said, but I said it quicker. Ladies and gentlemen, the only stock you need to own for the rest of your life, your existence, is Amazon. It is diversified in and of itself. I'm a political science major from South Jersey, South Philadelphia. I like pictures. Let's go to pictures, folks. Does anybody see a trend with their net revenue in billions? I got to update this a little bit, but you know what the update looks like? That. In the history of companies, it disgustingly prints money. Okay. How about the annual revenue by segment? It does the same thing. But here's what's funny. I remember in 2013 what happened. Andy Jassy, the current CEO, and Jeff Bezos, who started Amazon, came up with the idea of Amazon Web Services, the cloud, servers, and we'll host data and everything. They came up with the idea in a condo. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the AWS revenue from last quarter was like $25 billion. It is AWS, ladies and gentlemen, that segment of Amazon is Microsoft. Okay, So it didn't even exist until 9 years ago, and it's essentially Microsoft at this point. And when you think of cloud and storage and web services, what comes to mind immediately? For me, well, Microsoft, obviously, and Google. Google probably owns all of that, right? Oh, and Apple. Apple's got cloud stuff, right? And I'd be an idiot. The cloud infrastructure services market is owned by Amazon. There's your silver medalist. There's the bronze. Apple's not even like listed on here. Boom. Amazon Web Services. Now, I'm going to get political for a minute. Democrats hate this slide. Why? Remember AOC and all these other, we need to tax Amazon into the ground and, you know, they need to pay their fair share. Real quick, before we get political, let's delete the word Amazon up here. And let's just put X. 20 years ago, if you sat me down and said, Wiz, you're an investor, I am. Would you buy this stock? And I'd look at it. I didn't wear cheaters back then, but I do now. And you forced me to look at this, I'd say, wow, holy crap, look at how much they make in sales. This company prints money. Then I'd bring my eyes down to here. Free cash flow. Okay, well, there's got to be a reason, but it's still a lot of money. Then I would look down here at how much profit they make. And then I would look at you and say, I would short this stock. It's an awful stock. And, you know, and I would have been broke. Why did I bring up Democrats? You know what Jeff Bezos does? Love him or hate him. Don't hate the player, hate the game. He takes any money he makes. If I make some money this quarter, Wiz, you know what I'm going to do with the profit Amazon makes? I'm going to take it. I'm going to buy a competitor. I'm going to put a competitor out of business. I'm going to buy more airplanes. I'm going to buy a new retail center outside of Miami Internet, more trucks, more. He reinvests it into the company, building the Death Star even bigger. That's why Democrats go, we should tax Amazon into infinity. And he kind of laughs at him and says, well, that's pretty funny. I don't make any money. So again, hate the play. You want a friend, get a dog. Hate the game, not the player. So JG with a small account trading Wiz Amazon trades, $8,900 in a week. Kristen, you guys are amazing. I trade a smaller account and have done 22 Amazon trades this year for 31 grand in profit. Kristen, month-to-date profits on Amazon, 107 with more to go. Thanks, Wiz, for all your expertise and guidance doing day trades with short calls to protect my profits, learning from the best. And then Ann making me look like an idiot in November. Monday through Wednesday, in 3 days, I made $90,000 on short calls against her 30 contracts using my guidance. Solo Amazon, folks, absolutely love it. Now, before I sit here and sing the praises of just trading one stock, I'm a fighter pilot. I'm an options trader. I have to brief you on the threats. What are the risks to just trading one name? Anybody ever hear of a small company called Lehman Brothers? 150-year-old company, gone in 2 days. Anybody ever hear of Bear Stearns? Jim Cramer knows Bear Stearns pretty well, doesn't he? Do you remember at the height of the financial crisis? Jim Cramer looked like Khrushchev at the UN with his shoe, a bald guy frothing at the mouth. You're an idiot if you're not putting your money in Bear Stearns. $70. Your money's safe at Bear Stearns. Days later, Bear Stearns was at zero. How about pets.com? How about Enron? I could spend the next, 32 minutes together going through the graveyard of stocks that have gone to zero. Can stocks go to zero? Of course they can. I just gave you examples. What's the common theme between all of these? I'll save you from typing. They didn't own a thing. Enron was a middleman of electricity. They didn't even own the building in Houston or whatever. Pets.com owned a stinky sock and a domain name. Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns owned paper, counterparty, trade risk. They didn't own a thing. Amazon owns everything. I did consulting years ago, maybe 10 years ago, outside of Miami International at an Amazon facility. I've walked on the aircraft carrier flight deck, folks. The Amazon facility made that look tame. It was bigger than an aircraft carrier, robots and things zipping all over the place. I'm like, holy crap, ladies and gentlemen. So they own things. Years ago, in full disclosure, I flew for FedEx. Hated it. Hated showing up to Memphis at midnight, flying till late in the morning, and trying to sleep in the hotel during the day. I left. Why do I bring this up? 10 years, 5 years ago, whenever it was, a buddy of mine who stayed at FedEx, was in corporate now, got out of the cockpit, put a suit on, called me one day. I'm like, dude, what's up, man? Haven't heard from you. He's like, hey, who's Jeff Bezos? I'm like, Jeff, he runs Amazon. Why? He's like, that's weird. I just heard from a buddy of mine at GE Aircraft Leasing that he just leased 5 airplanes. And I said, wow, he's going to do it. And he said, what? And I said, he's going to put you out of business. Brr, harumph. Guess who called him last year and spiked the football? Amazon is now, look at the dates, 2021, September. Amazon is now shipping cargo for outside customers and latest move to compete with FedEx and UPS. Look at the date of this one. Later in 2021, 2 months, Amazon poised to pass UPS and FedEx to become the largest delivery service in 2022. And this headline from months ago, the biggest delivery business in the US is no longer UPS or FedEx. And recently, FedEx even begged Amazon, hey, can we help? Nailed it. Amazon Air is bigger than FedEx and UPS. You're welcome. There's the headline, folks. What's the date on that? April 29th. Amazon says more packages are arriving in a day or less after a hefty investment in speedy fulfillment. Boom. Unbelievable. Amazon gets more fuel for the AI race. Holy crap. How about this real quick? Years ago, I said, you want some good bearish trades? CVS, Walgreens. You will be, I said this a decade ago, folks. I said, you're going to get a text from Amazon. Hey, your toothbrush is here. Here's your PIN. You're going to go out in the street, enter your PIN on a blue truck that has no driver because drivers have to take a leak. They want to unionize and they need brakes. Gone. All the drivers will be gone. There'll be electric vehicles, driverless. You'll enter your PIN on the side. The door will open. Your toothbrush will pop out. Or you're going to get a text that says, go to your front door. A drone's going to scan your face and drop your prescriptions into your hand. I said, get bearish on pharmacies. 2 months ago, Amazon clinics are in 50 states. Oh, by the way, CVS lays off 5,000 employees. Walgreens, 2 months ago, plans major U.S. store closures. It's going to close almost all of its 8,600 stores. Walgreens stock tests lowest levels in decades. You're welcome. Rite Aid filed for Chapter 11. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why is this guy on your screen? I'm talking about risks to just trading one name, particularly Amazon. Why is Donald Trump on your screen? Because year one of his presidency, Donald Trump woke up one day, or didn't go to bed, depending on who you believe, grabbed his phone and did what? Tweet. Somebody should do something to Amazon. It's a monopoly, biggest monopoly ever. Listen to me, believe me. Destroy Amazon. What happened? Stock went down a little bit, like, holy crap. The president of the United States just tweeted that we're a monopoly and they should do something about us. Then what happened? Nothing. Until year 4 of his presidency. Amazon, bigger monopoly. Somebody should destroy it. Ask me, believe me. Washington Post, Jeff Bezos, awful. What happened that day? The stock went up and never looked back. So there is risk to just trading Amazon. You'll see headlines every once in a while and criminal probe and this and antitrust that and this, and I get it, man. It's too late. What do I mean by that? Let me go back right here. I call Amazon Mercury. It's so massive that if you tried to smash it and break it up, you'd create like 12 little monopolies. Amazon Prime, the entertainment, makes Netflix look awful. Amazon Air, I just told you, is bigger than FedEx. Folks, Amazon Pharma, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft. I would, if they broke Amazon up into sub companies, you'd create 12 little monopolies in there. So it's too late. This was funny about James Woods. Remember there was like a raft of people like going into Lulu and just taking stuff and walking out. And then Lulu would fire the employees for like going after the people or like videotaping them. Remember when that was happening? Still happening, but they just don't report on it. Just so everybody understands the game here, Lululemon and these other national store brands don't care about theft because A, the crap's actually virtually worthless, and B, they would rather sell it online. No fuss, no muss, no employees. When you see the stores locking up everything behind glass and forcing customers to select from a kiosk, it's a way to avoid excessive minimum wage, blah, whatever. Down here is the point. Invest in Amazon, folks. Pretty soon it'll be your only marketplace left. Welcome to solo Amazon, Mr. Woods. Now, I got to be honest with you. I'm bipolar and so am I. What do I mean by that? I'll tell you how I feel as Wiz. I think Jeff Bezos is awful. He's your typical limousine liberal. On my 690-foot yacht, I pay my employees shit. Hell, during COVID, they didn't even have personal protection equipment and everything like that. I can't stand Amazon. It's anti-competitive. The Wall Street Journal did a big expose that said they actually go after, if you put your thing on Amazon Marketplace and they're like, I like that. They demand how you made it, where you get your stuff and everything. Well, that's proprietary to me. I'm not going to tell you that. Well, then you're stealing it and you're booted. Well, geez, okay. Well, here's where I get my materials and here's how I make it. Okay, thank you. 1 month later, new on Amazon, our newest product, which is half the price of yours. It's awful. Amazon is evil. Now I'm going to put on my $10,000 Armani suit and say, you want a friend, get a dog. I'm going to teach you how to print money with Amazon. Gordon Gekko would say, I love Jeff Bezos that he does all that stuff. I love that Amazon's anti-competitive. It makes me money. Okay, so there's my bipolar speech. Now, what are the benefits of just trading Amazon? We already talked about the risks. There aren't too many. If Amazon goes to zero, you're not going to know Amazon went to zero because the world is over in a nuclear exchange. The benefits of trading just a single name are what? You're going to profit no matter what trading options, which way the stock goes, up, down, or sideways. There was a month or two ago where Amazon stayed in a range. We printed money with a tactic called an iron condor. It's a range-bound trade. If you only trade stocks, folks, you only make money one way, to buy, hope, and pray. I bought Amazon. I hope it goes up. If it doesn't, I pray. Options, you can make money up, down, sideways, and I'll show you that in about 2 minutes. You're going to stay focused on the news and events that impact one name instead of a bunch of different stocks and ETFs. You become an expert in Amazon, reducing time spent on other positions. Does that make sense? You got it, Rick. Fewer names are much easier to manage. Quick story. Moved from Chicago to Boca. Orthopedic surgeon, heard about TOPGUN options, loves it. Wiz, I need help, man. I hear you're a really good trader. Can you meet me at Starbucks in Meisner? I did. Thank God he's a doctor, because after he booted up his brokerage platform, and showed me, you ready for this? He had 33 positions in his brokerage account. Hand to God, 33 positions. He tried to explain to me. I'm like, what? He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, well, what is this? He's like, well, I think this one's a pot stock. I'm like, did you just say, I think this stock? Well, let's move on. This one's a surgical stock that a buddy of mine got me into. Listen to this. It's down 50%. I'm going to wait for it to get back up to where I bought it, and then I guess I'll dump it. I'm like, dude, you're a doc, right? Yeah. You're supposed to be intelligent? Yes. Tell me what the math is between this thing going up. I'm like, stop talking. Get out of all of this and buy Amazon. To this day, this guy loves me, ladies and gentlemen. You remember that picture of our trading floor that I showed you at the beginning up in Chicago? I would walk over to the research. We had like 25 researchers. It was the research desk was like, half the football field. But those analysts, ladies and gentlemen, had to know if you were a junior analyst, you got one name. You had to know, eat, breathe, and sleep. Senior analyst, 3 to 5 names. Do you know how many times I'd go over to that research desk and find a dude or a girl and be like, you were supposed to know this name like the back of your hand? Did you see what happened today? It was like, oh, I'm like, so folks, how can you do better than somebody who's paid a lot of money to eat, breathe, and sleep just one name? So focus on Amazon. That's exactly right, Mike. Well, it was Mark Twain, wasn't it? I absolutely love that quote. Mike just posted, Mark Twain, don't put all your eggs in one basket is all wrong. I'll tell you, put all your eggs in one basket and then watch the basket. That's exactly right. Now, if you're sitting here going, you know what, Wiz, I like it. I like this. I'm like what you're laying down, but they bit me in the neck. The broker bit me in the neck, and I have got to diversify. It's in the bloodstream. Guess what? You can also trade. And we used to trade this a lot when Amazon was a $3,000 or $4,000 stock. Now it doesn't make too much sense. But if you need some diversification, here it is. We also trade the XLY. It's the consumer discretionary ETF. I have a buddy who often tells me that shrimp are a vehicle for eating cocktail sauce. The XLY is a vehicle for eating Amazon. You get 25% of this ETF, a quarter of it is Amazon. What else do you get? Man, you get some Home Depot, McDonald's, Nike, Lowe's, Starbucks, Booking Key. You get other stuff. If you need to, quote, diversify, there is your diversification. You're welcome. We trade the ETF. I think there's some Tesla in here too. I got to update that chart. So how do we target Amazon and XLY for max profit? I'm going to show you right now a base position. Just like the Marines landing in Iwo Jima, we need to establish a beachhead. We're going to hop in that F-35 and fly at the speed of light out years into the future and get long-term bullish on Amazon with a tactic called a synthetic stock. Look in the parentheses. What's it say? Protected puts. I never hopped in an F-18 Hornet and told the chief, hey, pull the ejection seat out. Why? I want more gas. I'm not going to die on this mission today. I don't need the ejection seat. That's the mission I would have died on. We don't do anything without protection here at Top Gun Options to manage our risk. After we establish our beachhead with a long-term bullish trade, we're going to do what? Trade the front months. What's a front month? You're sitting in a front month. August, September, October. We'll go look at an options chain in 30 seconds. Amazon's going up. Awesome. We trade bullish spreads and maybe buy some calls. Amazon's going down. Awesome. Did you say Amazon going down is awesome? Yeah, because we're going to make money on Amazon if it's going down. After earnings, we were making money as Amazon went down. Sideways, iron condor tactic. I can show you that, or you're going to get access to iron condor training. Let's go trade. Amazon. So this is an options chain. Real quick, if you have no idea what an option is, welcome to Top Gun Options. We flew, if you don't even know what you're looking at right now, I'm going to train you. When you join Solo Amazon here in about 10 minutes, you're going to take the training and you're going to know what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to move a little quicker. If you wanted to, let's just start with the basics. Wiz, I love Amazon. It's diversified in and of itself. I want to buy 100 shares of Amazon. It would cost you $17,700 today. Whoa, I 17 grand to buy 100 shares of Amazon. Yeah, man. Don't have that. Good. Because one options contract, ladies and gentlemen, controls 100 shares of Amazon. So instead of spending nearly 18 grand buying the stock, I'm going to show you if it flies, floats, or fornicates or faces the ocean, you rent it. So let's go out to December of 2026 on this option. This is called you're looking at an options chain right here. On the left are calls, on the right are puts. An options contract has what? A price. Any contract has what? The price and then a date. So we're going to go as far out into the future as we can today, which would be December of 2026. So I'm going to show you how we can get long-term bullish all the way out to December of 2026 and not spend 18 grand. Okay. Why is that the farthest out we can go? Because these roll. In a month or two, you're going to see I can't even believe I'm going to say this, a Jan 27 expiration. Then in February, we're all getting older, folks. But as of me in this brief, the farthest I can go today is Jan of 2026. I want to give this long-term bullish trade as much time as humanly possible to work. Thank you, Reginald. All right, so the stock right now, as I'm talking to you live in a brief, is 176, almost 177. Look at the strikes down here. There's a 175 strike. There's a 180 strike down there. There's not a one. It's literally right in the middle. So let's just go a little out of the money. We'll do the 180 strike. If you're new to trading options, check out what I just did. You could buy one contract, which controls what? Say it with me. 100 shares of Amazon out to December of 2026, the 180 strike, which is what we say it's close to at the money. Instead of spending almost $18,000, it's $4 grand. I just saved you $14,000. If you just trade stocks and you join the TOPGUN options for the first time, you're probably sitting here going, son of a, yeah, 1998, 9, when I was an instructor pilot in Miramar, San Diego, when my buddy, I was trading stocks like crazy. He's like, dude, don't you trade options? I'm like, options are creepy and they come from the devil. That's what I heard. After the lunch that I bought him at the golf course, I became the best options trader in the world. I'm like, I cannot believe I've been trading stocks. Anyway, so I just saved you $14,000. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Unusual options activity now in the so what can you also do when you buy something? When you buy a call, you're bullish. Wiz, I'm buying a call. I think it's going to go up. Amazon's going up in 2 years. If you're new to options, let me tell you what buying a put means. Everybody's probably heard this in this room. I think a stock's going to go down. I'm going to buy some puts. I'll make money if it goes down. Basic options. There's somebody on the other side of that. When you buy a put and you're bearish, somebody sold you that put. And they're like, it ain't going down. I'll be the insurance company. I'll sell you that put. You're an idiot. It's only going up. So what we could do, in addition to buying this call, we could sell a put with the same strike, the 180 strike. When you buy a call and sell a put with the same strike, 180, and same expiration, ladies and gentlemen, I just got you synthetically long stock. And let's look at this. $1,300. We went from maybe coming out of pocket 18 grand to buy 100 shares to maybe coming out of pocket 4 grand to buy a call option to coming out of pocket 1,300 bucks to be long-term bullish on Amazon. You're welcome. I just saved you 16,500 bucks. Let's go look at the picture real quick. This tactic is called synthetic stock. This is the most basic P&L diagram, folks. That's long stock. Stock goes up, it goes up. It goes down, it goes down. We just got synthetically long Amazon with options. What does synthetic stock mean? You ready for this? Synthetic stock means you're not a shareholder. You didn't buy the shares, so you don't get two things. And both of these things are stupid with Amazon that you don't get. You don't get a dividend. Last time I checked, Jeff Bezos chokes on the word dividend. He's like, what a dumb concept. I already told you, if I make money this quarter, I'm taking the money and buying an airplane, putting somebody out of business. Dividends are for chumps. So that's gone. Who cares? The second thing you don't get with synthetic stock is to vote. You're not a shareholder. You don't own the shares. Last time I checked, Jeff and his ex-wife probably own maybe 10 more shares than you'll ever own in your life. So your vote means shit. So, ladies and gentlemen, synthetic stock. Now, if you're smart, you looked at what and said, well, the max potential loss, holy crap, it's 19 grand. If you bought the 100 shares of Amazon, what's your max potential loss, folks? The stock going to zero. I've already beat the dead horse. The odds of getting eaten by a golden retriever are never zero. The odds of Amazon going to zero in the next couple of years are never zero. But look at the probability of losing 19. It's Mr. Blutarski's GPA from Animal House, 0.0. I guarantee you there's about 15 zero decimal points and a 1. So I'm glad that two people just rogered up immediately and said, hey, what's the margin requirement? Let's go fix something first. What did I tell you on the slide before we came over to trade? Protection. Why don't we go buy a protective put? What's a disaster? Folks, if you're trading, if the S&P 500 goes down 20%, what's it called? It's in a bear market. If a stock goes down 20%, Nvidia is off 20% off its highs, it's in a bear market. Why don't we buy a disaster put or a protective put, whatever you want to call it, 20% underneath the stock, underneath Amazon? Somebody do 20% of 80? What's that, 142? What's 20% of 177? Somebody do it real quick. It's close to 140, I'd assume. So look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, now the price went up a little bit, right? To $2,500. Of course, because you bought a put. I bought some protection. But we were risking 19,135 strike. Thank you. Okay. We were risking $19,000 as if the same as if we bought the stock. Look, my call sign's Wiz. Look at what the wizard did to your max potential loss. Is it 19 grand? 6,800 bucks. Now, I'm glad the two people who, let me say your names because I love recognizing smart people, Joe and Richard Raymond, both of them said, hey, what's the margin requirement? When it was 19 grand, I didn't even want to tell you what the margin requirement was because it would be stupid. Buy a protective put underneath it. The protective put serves two purposes. First of all, to protect your position, but the second is what? Margin. We just reduced your whatever your margin requirement on 6,800 bucks is. It might be $1,000 or something like that, or a couple $100. It's negligible. Up at 19 grand, it would have been a little bit more. Now it's scratch, baby. Does everybody understand this trade? So on your screen right now, ladies and gentlemen, right here is the synthetic stock. I bought a call, I sold a put, and I added a little bit of protection. If Amazon is going to go up and to the right for the next couple of years, like I've seen new pricing on Amazon, $250 target price. I've seen $300 target prices on Amazon over the next couple of years. This stock, I'm going to say today on August 19, 2024, is probably going to double by the time this trade would expire. If that happens, this will be close, if not over, 6 figures. If you've been here at TOPGUN Options for years, you know a lot of these synthetic stock positions we do can make over 100 grand potentially, starting with that much. Now, to be honest, This ain't day trading. I'm not in and out of a trade. And you know, this is slow and steady wins the race, man. We have these ships deployed in the background. I love trading SPX, day trading, and doing crazy stuff. This is in the background. Slow and steady wins the race. But here's what I'm also going to do. You ready for this? What did I tell you? I said we can also trade the front month. So I'm going to add another option leg here. And I'm going to sell, for what's Friday's date? The 23rd. I'm going to sell a 180 call. The front month, sorry. August 23rd, 180 call. What did I just do? When you sell something, folks, you bring in money. This brings in like $100. See this? I'm going to sell one of Friday's 180 call and bring in like $100. That lowers this cost basis. Folks, if I sell upside calls against this position each week, unless the thing's ripping higher, I won't, I bring in money. And this trade will eventually it's paid off. And then it's all gravy. Does everybody understand that? If you don't get if you kind of are hanging, I'm going to give you're going to get access to Options Weapons School if you want it. I do an hour, I think it's an hour and a half lecture on this. You got it in 14 minutes, you're going to get it in an hour and a half. And you get a manual. So, but if you're hanging going, Now, warning, Will Robinson. I'm old enough to remember Lost in Space. When you sell this call out the Friday against your Amazon long-term bullish trade, if it finishes below 180, you keep the $100. Well, if it finishes above 180, you also keep the $100. No matter what, you keep the money that you brought in by selling this call. But remember, when you sell a call, sellers have obligations. Buyers have rights. You are obligated to deliver 100 shares at 180 by Friday. That's what I mean. If it stays below 180, everything's fine. If it rips through 180, close them, buy them back. You should be happy. If between now and Friday, Amazon starts ripping higher, be happy. Don't sit there and go, oh, my short calls are going in the money. The first reaction is, that's awesome. My synthetic stock's printing money. Let me just close those short calls. Does everybody understand that? Like I said, in the training, I'm going to give you, you're going to be, exactly, Jayden, somebody just said, hey, it's a synthetic covered call. You got it. And here's what I'm going to do so I can demonstrate what we do here at TGO. I'm going to grab a screenshot of this and I'm going to place this in our trade groups. Watch this. When you become a TGO member, you download an app. We have a TOPGUN options app. So Amazon, what's today's date? 8/19. So we don't need text alerts. We don't need email alerts. We have an app. It's online, obviously, but you also have an app. Oh, I was wrong. You bring in $200 by Friday. So folks, if you do this each week, selling some short calls against your Amazon, you can pay for the trade. And I am going on the record today saying if Amazon keeps moving, if Amazon, I think I did this math last week, if Amazon is a $300 stock, this would be a six-figure trade. You're welcome. Amazon 819 metric. Okay. So let's go over to, these are our trade groups, right? So here's the hunters, new Amazon 2026 bullish, synthetic stock, if I could spell. Oh my gosh, that's not even close. Synthetic stock. And then I upload the picture of the trade. Desktop. Let me find that picture. Amazon. I'll answer everybody's questions and just give me a second here. So there is the trade, and I hit at everyone, so an alert goes out. So that's the trade. And then underneath it, I'm just going to put in the risk metrics. So we have instant alerts here at Top Gun Options on your app. There's the first post right there is the trade. You click on it. There's the picture of it. And then obviously I'll close that. And then I just posted the risk as well. Boom. Okay. That went to our hunters. And then I'll post it in our Max Afterburner group, which is our lifetime. I'll do that after this. But since the lifetime people are in the hunters, everybody just got the trade. Isn't that awesome? So we will also start doing what? We'll also start trading the front month with Amazon. I know I put some short calls on, but Amazon has filled this gap after earnings. And I told you, maybe I didn't tell you since you weren't here. When Amazon pulled back after earnings, I said, freaking mortgage the house, sell the wife and kids, buy Amazon with both effing hands today. It got down to 155. Why? Because folks, look, it was called buy the rumor, sell the news. Amazon printed money during this earnings. It was filthy. It wasn't super filthy. So the stock sold off. When a stock runs up into earnings and the earnings are supposed to be obscene and they were only slightly obscene, this is going to happen. We've already filled the gap and now we're racing. This was a gift. And if you do this trade today, the synthetic stock that I just gave you, Amazon was a $200 stock last month. So you have potentially, if it gets back to 200, you have a shitload of upside right here with your synthetic stock. But since I'm running out of time, we will also, when you join, start trading some front ones. I'd be putting on a bullish spread, a bull put spread, all sorts of stuff right now. But that's what we do. The first thing we do, and this was free, folks. It was free for you to come in here. You got a bullish long-term synthetic trade on Amazon. You're welcome. Now we keep that in the background and we still sell calls against it, like I already briefed, but we're also going to start trading the front months. Okay. Let me scroll up because I think there was a question. And suppose that you had 30 of these, you could potentially live off the income of selling the front. Mike gets a gold star. I only did one contract, folks, because, for you decide your contracts. I'm not a registered investment advisor, not a broker dealer, not a certified financial planner. I trade my money, baby. You're getting an eavesdrop on what I would do. What you do on your side of the computer is your own business, man. But I did one contract to just show you. But, some like Christine and Ann, I know Ann had like 30 contracts at one point. There are people, to Mike's point, with larger portfolios that do have those type of things. Like if you had like 30 contracts you could do, look at the Friday, you could bring in $6,000. I mean, do half of that, 15 contracts. I was trading a serious Amazon position up until last year, 15 contracts, $3,000 in weekly income you'd be bringing in. $3,000 times 52 trading weeks, 100. And you could just, thank you for saying this, Mike. This is solo Amazon. You could just do this. Okay. Jay, where are the trades located on the site and what is the app called? The app is called Collab, K-O-L-L-A-B. Let me go show you. Good question. So I'm in the hunters right now. I just go over here to memberships and replays. Here's our solo Amazon service. You click on solo Amazon right there and everything's going to pop up. So up at the top, this is where you join the briefs. To join today's brief, there was a link in here, right? So up at the top is where you enter these briefs and then scroll down and here's all the briefs and the replays. Here's last week. Last week, we did a joint brief, folks, and people in solo Amazon got free Chipotle. So this is what the replay page looks like. Chipotle was a gift last week, but look at this. So up at the top is where the replay is posted right here. There's your replay. And then you scroll down on the member page and all this stuff's on the app too. You can watch the replays on the app. And here's the Chipotle trade we talked about. And look at this. Last week in solo Amazon, folks, what did we cover? A new synthetic stock position. What was it at? 165. Amazon is up $12 since last week's solo Amazon. If you got the Amazon last week at 165, you're welcome. You're already making significant money. So that's what that's where everything's posted for the solo Amazon folks. I want to keep on time here. Let me go back real quick. This is where you also need to live. If you're going to join today, Options Weapons School. This is your training. Let me click on this real quick and show you OWS, Options Weapons School. All your workbooks are right up here. Download your workbooks, primary, they're over here on the right where it says files, all right there. And then here is your weapons school training, folks. If you followed what I did today, that's session 5, man. If you hung and I'm kind of new, but I get the synthetic. Go look at this. We take a building block approach. Here's how I gather my intel, some basics of investing, some tactical trade planning, basic calls and puts, covered calls, spreads, double verticals, synthetics. So today, hopefully you will be smart enough to take the training in addition to joining your solo Amazon as well. So people are already asking how to join. So that's a great segue. Thank you for asking how to join so we can stay on timeline. One of our newest live trading services, folks. I love solo Amazon, man. It's only $970 a year or $97 a month. I don't drink anymore, folks. Thank you, God. Ibogaine cured my addictions. It cures heroin. It destroyed alcohol in my life. Why am I rambling about this? Because I used to say it's $97 a month. It's a cheap bottle of wine. Well, there you go. If you drink wine, it's a cheap bottle of wine. It's $97 a month, or $970 for a year. I'll give you 2 months for free. Jeff, I have the 9 strikes from earlier last year. One contract up $7,000. Look at you, man. I love that. Thank you, Jeff. So 2 months free if you do an annual, or you can kick the tires, man. Do $97 a month. I'll give you the link in a second. There it is right there. Actually, let me just go to the page and give you the link. It's $97 a month, folks, or 2 months for free if you do the annual. It's $970. So let me give you the link. And yeah, I will. I'll answer. I'm here, baby. This is what I do. I love being here. So you can scroll down and do the annual if you want, or you can do the monthly. I am begging you to take the Options Weapons School training. It's an upsell, folks. I think it's $297 or something like that. People charge thousands of dollars for that type of options training. I think that's obscene. It's $297. Do not take the training. Up nearly 100 grand year to date, just trading Amazon, whatever. Parmar made 200 grand in Amazon on 20 call contracts. Kevon, Amazon synthetic stock. I was late to enter, up 200%, paid 8 grand, now 24. Diane, up 70 with 1 contract. Scott, hey Wiz, up 20 in 2 September and 2 October Amazon calls this week. I have never been there. Patience, persistence, thanks TGO. Wiz, update on my Amazon synthetic call for 621 expiration from solo Amazon. It's no longer up 100 grand on 1 contract. It's now up 127 grand on 1 contract. My. Wiz, I can't attend your solo Amazon briefs every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Guess what? 80% of our TGO members work and they're not in the live trade briefs. We send, as I just did, a time-sensitive alert. There it is right there, man. That's a screenshot of the app, the Collab app. Okay. You just saw that I take a screenshot of the trade. I place it into the app. It's all right there. And it takes about 20 to 30 minutes for the replay to render on my computer, and then I post it on the page. Okay, so a lot of people can't attend. I mean, Chris, I'm so geeked. Been a subscriber for almost 3 years now, and this is the first time I've been able to attend live. I only know you from the replays. So you don't have to be here, folks. It's like you're here because you're getting it. Okay, you're in here live, folks. You get the manuals today too. Even if you don't take the training, which is stupid, I'll give you the manuals. These, if you bought these on our homepage, they're 197 bucks. I'm going to throw them in here. Download these, go to Kinko's, print them out, grab a highlighter. I read these sometimes again to knock the rust off, folks. So let me help you out. It's 97 bucks a month. The manuals cost 197 bucks. So wait a minute. I think I just made 100 bucks. My marketing people call this, it's an irresistible offer. I'm like, we're giving a lot of shit away. There's your irresistible offer, folks. Do it for a month, 97 bucks a month, and you keep your manuals. You save, you made 100 bucks. If you don't see that's a good trade, don't join because you're not a good trader. Okay. So you get access to our solo Amazon live brief. You're in it. I treated you like a member today. Welcome. Every Monday at 10 a.m. You get the app alerts, not email alerts. I'm going to change that right now so I don't forget. It is our app alerts. That's even better. People with email problems and all sorts of stuff. Ain't no app problems, folks. 3 skill-based manuals and access to our Ready Room. Even if you, ladies and gentlemen, aren't in the Hunters or the Lifetime, guess what? You can, it's called the Ready Room over here, folks. Click on Ready Room, get in here. It was, people asking me questions, Compass, synthetic stock, Chipotle, no brief tomorrow, questions, boom. Even for solo Amazon people, you get access to a forum. You got a question for me in between briefs, Wiz, I got a question on something. I'm in here, man. It's called the Ready Room. So even though you're not paying for a high membership here at Top Gun Options, I'll still hook you up. You get access to me answering your questions in between briefs. Not too many people do that. Bob, closed Amazon position, 37 grand, Goose, 24, whatever. I'm not even going to. If you want to test Flash for a month, like I said, it's only 97 bucks. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you the link one more time. It's right there, folks. So after you join next Monday, or maybe this week, maybe I'll do another Amazon trade because I am personally going to do an Amazon trade. Why wouldn't I give it to you guys? I want to do probably a bullish spread out to Friday on Amazon. But try us for a month, folks. It's like I said, it's only 97 bucks a month. And it doesn't go up. This isn't it's 97 bucks a month and then $1 trillion the second month. It's 97 bucks for the rest of your life if you stay in the monthly. But I'm a good dude. I'm offering you an annual to get a discount. As a businessman, please stay in the 97 bucks a month for the rest of your life. As Wiz, who's a good dude, do the annual and do the monthly for a couple months and then email us and say, I want to upgrade and save money. You're welcome. Yep. Joe, can you start with the monthly membership for 97 a month and then convert? Yeah, that's creepy, Joe. As you were typing that, I was answering that. So there are no coincidences. God winks, right? So yeah, Joe, just shoot us an email that says, hey man, I'm ready to upgrade. I checked you out for a month or two and now I'm ready to save some money. Okay. All right. Exactly, Mike. But wait, there's more. I feel like the Flex Seal tape guy. Telling you to take the options weapons school training. Do not do this. Even if you're a Jedi master, if you're sitting there going, I know what I'm doing with options. You know what the motto of Top Gun is? You think you're good, we'll make you better. I guarantee you, when you watch the options weapons school training, even if you think you're a Jedi master, you're going to be like, wow, I didn't look at it this way, or that's a different way to look at it, or I didn't know that. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Bradley, I might do a credit spread today. I want to get through the brief. Options weapons school, folks. I already showed you. You gotta take it. Period. Pete, it's $970 for a year. So essentially you get 2 months free. So right here, Pete, here's the order page. Okay, just scroll down. And you have 2 choices right here, Pete. $970 for a year or 97 bucks a month. So Pete, like I just told Joe, if you do this 97 for a couple months and go, you know what, I'm ready to upgrade, just shoot us an email. support@topgunoptions.com and we'll upgrade you. So you get 2 months free for an annual. Capiche? Capiche. Pete, it will stay at 970. Yeah, it doesn't. That's 970 per year. I'm not one of those services that goes, well, everybody's raising prices due to inflation, so I'm just going to randomly raise this price out of the blue. I have no plans, Pete. That is a fair price for this. I love doing my foundation stuff, folks. I'm not a charity. I have a charity, so I like making a little bit of money, but I don't. This isn't obscene. So long answer, short question. I'm not going to next year go, hey, now it's $5,000. That's a fair price for what it is. Like I said, do the options weapons school. We take a building block approach. When I showed up to Pensacola Naval Air Station to learn how to be a naval aviator, there was a kid that flew from the University of Montana. His first flight on an airplane was that. And 6 months later, he was a steely-eyed fighter pilot, man. So we all take a building block approach to the training, okay? There's the training. Well, I already showed you that, so let me get rid of that. Speaking of naval aviator, this guy, Utah, Mark Provo, he was a Blue Angel, FedEx captain. Didn't know what an option was a couple months ago. Did a layover in Fort Lauderdale. I gave him a brief, and he's like, all right, I'm going to join TGO. He sent me this text. Less than 20 trading days, and I'm up 15 grand on a 40 grand account. Yeah, most people would kill for a 38% return in a year, let alone 20 trading days. So if Utah can do it, you can do it. I'm not going to read any more case studies. You guys get it. If you don't, you don't. Newest live trading services. The other briefs are $167 a month, but since we just trade Amazon, it can be cheaper. I mean, my other services, folks, trading Chipotle, volatility, the S&P 500. We have a core group of names that we trade, but this, we're only trading one name, so it can be a little cheaper, right? Not cheaper, less expensive, right? So if you didn't learn anything from me today, I completely failed. But do you a favor. Take an inventory of your trading cockpit. Are you my buddy who's a doctor trading 30? He was like, dude, I look at my phone in between, office visits and surgeries. I'm like, are you insane? I helped save this dude's financial life, man. He still texts me randomly. He's like, I love it, dude. Just trade my Amazon and print. He's one of those guys that can have like 30 to 50 contracts on Amazon. He'll sell some short calls out to Friday and bring in 10 grand a week. He's like, I cannot believe this is my life now. I'm like, dude, welcome to the other side. So if I didn't teach you anything today, I failed miserably, but I guarantee you probably learned a little bit of something today. Okay. All right, let me do one more time through here. John, the price is not fair. It is a gift. Thank you, John. Do you trade the XLF, XLY ETF, or do you like Amazon? Joe, I stick with Amazon. So years ago, if you remember, Amazon was a $4,000 stock. So the stock and the options in Amazon were a little pricey for some. So we also traded the XLY because, as I covered, it has some Amazon in it. But guess what? This ETF right now is a little bit more expensive than the damn stock. So why would, so the XLY right now is at what? 184. Amazon's at, 177. So the XLY is actually more expensive than Amazon. But back in the day, Amazon, $4,000. The XLY was, $120 ETF. So we did trade both in there. I will trade maybe. I have a calendar reminder, folks, that pops up like around Halloween that says buy Amazon and XLY. Why? It's a seasonal trade. Look at this. Look at that. October of last year, rip your face off rally in XLY. Why? It's the Santa Claus rally, folks. I will give you a handful of names that I buy around Halloweenish or mid-October to get ready for a Santa Claus rally. So there are some seasonal trades that I will teach you. Okay. Yeah, just scroll up a little bit. It should be there, but I'll give it to you one more time. Any other questions? This was a good brief. I love the questions I'm getting asked. People are engaged. People like it. It's a gift, man. Amazon being down here, it was $200 a month ago, folks. Ain't nothing changed in Amazon other than it prints money. Patrick, do you trade AMZU, the bullish ETF for Amazon. Patrick, I don't do that stuff, man. Why trade a derivative of a derivative? Why not just trade Amazon? You know, some people do the supercharged. It's a triple reverse Lindy ETF that does a reverse split. It just doesn't. I like trading Amazon. Remember, folks, ETFs. Listen to me. ETFs can also go to zero. Anybody ever watch CNBC and see Dr. Jeremy Siegel, the kind of nerdy older man from the Wharton Business School? Jeremy Siegel had like a bunch of wisdom tree ETFs that blew up and went to zero. ETFs can go to zero, folks. They're a company. Amazon can go to zero too. It ain't. So I stay away from that stuff, man. Louis, full throttle training is actually called Options Weapons School training. Do you get that for a year? Louis, I can't believe I'm about to say this. If you pay the new $297, you get it for good. You're welcome. Paul, do you ever sell puts to enter a trade? I do, Paul. We'll sell cash secured puts. Absolutely. Not naked. Do a lot of things naked that are fun. Never sell naked puts, but absolutely, Paul, we'll sell some cash secured puts. Absolutely. Joe, why not trade Amazon base option closer than December 26th? I love that, Joe. And I just alluded to that. I will do, it won't be, I don't necessarily call it a base position, Joe. I will, around October, if you're a TGO member, Joe, I will tell you, we will do a tactic called a bullish double vertical for the Christmas rally. We could actually do that right now. Well, I'm out of time, but we could do a bullish double vertical on Amazon through like January, because Amazon usually does what? Black Friday, Cyber Monday, rip your face off rally into January, and then sells off into earnings. So long answer to your short question, I'm going to do some mid-months bullish trades. Absolutely. Great question. Louis, just shoot an email, support at TOPGUN Options, and they'll hook you up. You should see that. If not, they can tag you. Joel, I cannot do the custom spread on my trading platform. Is there another way to do it? Joel, you should join, get in the ready room and ask me, and I'll give you a better answer. The way you put that trade on, your broker might, if you started with selling the put first and you don't have the cash in your account, some brokerage firms will be like, you cannot do this trade. The way you construct it is part of maybe your problem. Or, Joel, you just got to pick up the phone and call your broker and say, hey, I want to do a synthetic stock like this. And you might have to get, I think it might be options level 3. I forget what it is. So just, when in doubt, pick up the phone and call your broker and said, hey, man, I want to do this. Did you say the options training was $197 if you join monthly? No, it's $297. Options Weapons School training is $297 for annual or monthly. It's $297. It is what it is for both. Options Weapons School training. Once you click on the order form, it's going to say it. It's just like on Amazon. It's not going to let you check out without showing you like, hey man, you can. People also bought this. So that's what we do. So you'll see it when you go to checkout. It's $297. $197 was for the manuals that you get for free. Those are not, you're not paying for those. I'm including those in the cost of your solo Amazon membership. So you're welcome. Absolutely. Any other questions? Going once, going twice. Good stuff, man. So yeah, you get your manuals. They are $197, but I throw those in. So like I said, you essentially make $100 today, which is pretty cool. You bet, Joe. The monthly and the annual are automatically billed. You can cancel at any time. You just shoot us an email that says, hey, I want to cancel my solo Amazon membership, and it is canceled. Ain't no shenanigans or anything like that. But yeah, it's your monthly membership is billed monthly, but you can cancel at any time, obviously, just like any normal things. Got any questions? Go take a look at Trustpilot. We got 4.9 out of like 100 rankings, or the Facebook reviews, Google reviews. You don't do this for 15 years and not know what you're doing and be pretty good. So, Joel, I will connect once I manage my trading. Yeah, awesome, Joel. Absolutely, man. Joe, you're very open, Wiz, one Navy man to another. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. There's no filter, man. There's only truth. So I cannot sign up after listening to the Amazon trades. Why is that, Vern? You cannot send or can? Paul just joined. Looking forward to this. Awesome, Paul. Welcome aboard. Vern, I'm not sure what that means. If you're having problems signing up, you can shoot an email, support@TOPGUN Options. Looks like people are joining and my phone's buzzing, which means people are joining. So I don't think there's a problem with the page. Yeah. What is the replay page? Yeah. If you came in late, it'll be posted on our YouTube channel, but I'll also give you the link to the replay page. Yeah, give me 1 second. So do me a favor, as you're sitting here right now, subscribe to the TGO YouTube channel, because I post all this content. A lot of good content on the TOPGUN Options YouTube channel. So click that right now and subscribe, as I'm buying a little bit of time to go get you what the replay page will be. So 1 second here. Websites, Solo Amazon. Where is it? Right here. And it's, of course, something that I'm going to pick myself. What is it? Solo replay. It's got to be something like that. What a moron. There it is. Let me give you the replay page right here. So yeah, give me, I'm going to stand up and stretch my legs because I've been sitting here, but give me a couple minutes to render the recording. So if you just joined a little bit late, here it is. This is the one from a couple months ago, so don't watch it because it's old, but this will be the replay page. The link is in the chat box right there. Awesome, Rebecca. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you. Yeah. Next steps, download your manuals, print them out, start watching the Options Weapons School replays. Like if you want to do the synthetic stock trade that we just covered, go watch the synthetic stock training. I took 14 minutes to do that trade in this. Go watch the hour-long brief of it, and it'll be nice and slow. But I wouldn't necessarily go right to that. Watch the beginnings. This is investing. This is a call. This is a put. This is a spread. This is an iron condor. And I step through, and I'm pretty sure in the Options Weapons School training, I cover a bunch of Amazon trades. So, yeah. So that's what I do first. Any other questions, concerns? Oh, by the way, smart remarks. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sandra, do you put all 4 legs on at the same time? Yeah, absolutely, you can. Remember, folks, when you go to place an options order, you have an order ticket, but when that goes into the market and to other into the system, market makers, people on the other side of your trade are just looking at that individual leg and the price on that, right? So you can, yeah, absolutely, you put that in as one trade. Absolutely. So, man, I didn't need to go an hour and a half. This is way too long. I wanted to go an hour, but you guys are engaged and it seems like a lot of people want to join, which is great. I love doing this, folks. I'm very passionate about this. I would be doing this if I didn't have you on my own, be printing money in Amazon and doing stuff. This is why I started TOPGUN Options. I love being a flight instructor. I love flying the F-18 and being an adversary instructor. And obviously I love putting the ladder down to help veterans heal with no fallen heroes. So, the more you give, the more you get. So tell it to the world. And yeah, nofallenheroesfoundation.org. Let me end on that on a high note. If you know a veteran, first responder, or family member who might be interested in healing with psychedelic assisted therapy, send them my way. Send them my way. We have upcoming retreats next month, Oregon. Thank you, Oregon and Colorado. Federal government. We have retreats coming up in Oregon and Sedona, Arizona, and I think back to Colorado. So we have retreats coming up, folks. If you can support us, if you can throw a couple shekels over the fence to donate to help save the life and change the life of veteran or first responder, we'd appreciate your help. So anyway, I got to go. 11:30. Awesome brief. I'll see many of you. Join Solo Amazon first, but tomorrow morning I'm doing the primary live trade brief. We got to talk about Chipotle. We're going to talk about the S&P 500. We're going to talk about volatility. Start with Solo Amazon, and then you can go take a look at some of our other services. Okay, but I'll see many of you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for our primary brief. And then Wednesday morning from Colorado, I'll be doing AR, accelerated retirement. So, Reginald, congratulations on overcoming. I know how hard that is. Continued blessed. Thank you, Reginald. I appreciate that. So, Rick, I'd forgotten about Arizona. So now 3 states allow psychedelic treatment. I think, Rick, the governor didn't sign it, and they're reattacking. So don't quote me. So anyway, you're welcome, Al. All right, folks, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you're hedged. I'll show you how to hedge and make money. Fights on. Namaste and basi basi. Wiz out, and I'll talk to you guys later. Cheers.